let us begin. So we're going to start off in our seated position. Get comfy again. If you need a pillow under your bum, a cushion, or whatever floats your boat, so that you can sit nice and comfy while we do our breathing. We're going to start off with Breath of Fire today so that we can warm up our bodies a bit. So for my newbies, Breath of Fire, well, the version we're going to do is going to go in and out your nose. You might need a tissue because sometimes it does clear out your sinuses. And you want your lower part of your body to pump in and out, in and out, in and out quite quickly. So what we usually do is take a nice deep breath in and then you exhale like half your air out and then you start pumping. So we're going to do 27 breaths. I'm going to count for us and then I'll tell you, okay, we've made it to our 27 breaths. Take a deep breath in. You'll let it suspend in that inhalation for a little bit. And then you'll exhale. We'll take a nice deep breath in, half out, and do a second round of the Breath of Fire. And then go through that whole process again and do a third round. And that'll be it. Okay, so get comfy. Make sure your hips are tucking under, tummy is lifted, your spine is nice and long, shoulders are rotated into their sockets. Sit with your hands relaxed. They're really not doing anything. Take a nice deep breath in, half out, and pump. And deep breath in, suspend, and slowly exhale. Deep breath in, half out, and go again. Deep breath in, suspend, exhale. Deep breath in, half exhale, and go again. Deep breath in, suspend, and exhale. That's Breath of Fire. Our next breathing exercise we're going to do, again, at your own pace, so you can take as deep and try and get deep, rather don't breathe shallowly, but you're going to inhale for a count of 6, slowly, steadily. Then you're going to hold it for a count of 6, then exhale for a count of 12, and then hold it for just a count of 4 before you start all over again. So we're doing 6, 6, 12, 4. 6, 6, 12, 4. I'll count you through the first round and then go at your own pace. So you can count quickly if you can't hold your breath for that long, or you can count extra slow if you've got a nice big capacity. Okay, so again, sit comfortably, relax the shoulders, and we begin. Inhale for a count of 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hold. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Exhale. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Hold. 2, 3, 4. Inhale for a count of 6. Keep going at your own pace. Do one last round, and then allow your breathing to return to normal and just sit with your breath for a bit. Okay, so we're going to start off with stretching our arms out a bit. So you can roll the shoulders forward, rounding, feeling like your sternum is being pulled back a little bit as you come forward. Rotate them back, pulling the rhomboids together gently, lifting your shoulders to your ears and back around. And now we rotate in the opposite direction. Shoulders come forward with the sternum pulling back, up towards the ears, back, pulling the rhomboids together slightly, pushing your shoulders down and around. Done and dusted. We're going to remember to keep our shoulders down. Our arm comes in front of us. Feel like it's being pulled away from you. Keeping your shoulder down, grab it with your other wrist and pull it across your chest, creating a bit of tension so that your straightened arm is pushing against your wrist and your wrist is pushing against your straightened arm. So it's not coming straight across your body, creating a bit of resistance. And go a little bit deeper and really feel the stretch happening across the shoulder blades. And release, and let's go to the other arm. Feels like it's being pulled away from you. Then with your wrist, you pull it across your chest, keeping your shoulders down, creating a bit of tension between the wrist and the forearm. A little bit deeper and release. Okay, this morning we're going to just use our hands to pull our elbow behind our head as far as we can go. So remember to keep this elbow as close to your ear, don't let it pop out. Grab your elbow with your opposite hand and lift it up next to your ear and then try and pull it a little bit deeper backwards. Keeping your head in line with your body, don't let it jut forward. Release. Let's go to the other side. So you grab your elbow with your opposite hand, start pulling it backwards, making sure that it stays in line next to your ear, and pull your elbow back, getting a nice stretch up the front of the arm, under the arm. And release. Let's shake out the hands and warm them up a little bit. So round and round in circles, up and down, just shake them, shake them, shake them, getting the blood into them. And you can place them in front of you right up against your feet, and then you're going to lift up off your bum to lean over them and stretch up the forearms. Remember to keep breathing steadily in through the nose. You can go out through the nose or out through the mouth. Breathing out through the mouth reminds you to actually keep breathing. Come back. Now we're going to place the tops of our hands in front of us. You're going to come up onto your bum. Place your hands somewhere in front of you. You're going to test it out for yourself, and then start leaning backwards, back down onto your bum to get a nice stretch up the forearms, but on the other side. And release. We're going to practice using our hands a little bit here. So whenever we go down into downward facing dog and things like that, I always talk about lifting under the armpits and pushing down into the earth. So we're going to practice that in our seated position now. So you're going to place your hands in front of you, sort of in line with your shoulders. And all we're going to do is round our back and push our hands into the earth and have our sternum pull back a bit. So you want to feel a lifting in the armpits. You're pushing away, pushing your sternum away. And relax. And then we're going to push away some more. So it feels like your upper back is rounding because you're lifting and pushing away. So you can imagine you're trying to get yourself into a little bit of a semi-Bora-Makisi in the top of your body. And relax. And one last one, push your hands away. And relax. Now we're going to come off our bums to create more pressure in the hands. Again, just doing some exercises to strengthen the hands and the arms. So come off your bum. Elbows are and starting off as bent, and now we're going to push down in the arms, trying to lift up into them, if that makes sense. So the bum rises higher as we push down. Lean over them and come back a little. So we're starting off at like a 90 degree over here between the hand and the wrist, and then we're pushing over them to go past that 90 degree. Come back to that 90 degree and push over. Back to that 90 degree and push over. Back into that 90 degree, push over. Hold the over. Keep pushing down in your arms so you're lifting in the armpits. And relax. Okay, so if you've got a cushion, you can toss it aside. It's no more. And we're going to come onto our hands and feet, or hands and knees rather. I think from here everyone can see me nicely. Okay, so we're spreading our hands and spreading our fingers out, and we want to focus our strength points on the knuckles of the hands and the palms of the hands, not so much the fingers. So you're pushing down, lifting in the armpits. Can you see how my upper back rounds a bit? Then our back is sort of in a relaxed position. We're neither arched nor curved up just yet. So, excuse mom in the background. So now we're going to lift up with our tummy, using the tummy so the pelvic muscles are pulling up towards the spine, and we're curving into a little ball of Makisi. Then we're tucking back, going into an arch, keeping the tummy lifted and lifting the head as we go. Then we're going back to that ball of Makisi kind of space, pushing down with the arms, and go back into our arch. And push up into your ball of Makisi, suck the belly up towards the spine, and back into the arch. And come back to tabletop position. Keep lifting in the arms. Our first step is to take, let's all do our left foot. So left leg goes up, keeping it bent. And now we're going to pulse it up and down. What happens is you don't want to be leaning to one side, but your arm is overcompensating. So if your left leg is up, you're pushing more pressure into your left arm as you pulse up and down, trying to keep your hip flexor facing the floor. So you're not lifting up in the hips. You're keeping them squared, pushing down in the left arm, and pulse up. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Hold your 9 up. Make sure you're lifting in your belly. Now you're going to bring your leg through to the side and hold it to the side. Again, try not to lean into the right bum to keep you up here. Try and stay stable and centered. Take that leg back behind you and lift it up high. And bring it around to the side. Keep lifting in the tummy. And back behind you, up high. And back to the side. And bring that leg down to the floor. I hope it's burning. Next leg. So now we're going to be using our right leg, so the right hand is pushing down extra. Keep the tummy lifted and send the right leg back up. And we're going to pulse. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Now hold the 9. And bring the leg to the side. Remember, don't lean into the left leg. Try and stay exactly where you are, lifting the right leg to the side without leaning. Take the leg behind you again, lifting up high. Back to the side. And back behind you, up high. And back to the side. And close your legs. And you can come down into your child's pose. Take your hands as far forward as you can, and on your tippy fingers, suck your belly back, making sure that you're rounding in the lower back, and drop your chest down towards the floor. Then we're going to come up onto those hands, back onto our hands and knees, but your hands are a little bit further away. We're lifting in the armpits, lifting in the sternum. You're going to tuck your toes under, lift slightly so that you can get your right knee up towards your right arm, and then your right ankle against your left arm. So that way we're dropping into our pigeon pose. Send your back leg crawling backwards until you get to a comfortable stretch in the bent knees bum. Make sure you're lifting in the tummy, and you can come down onto your forearms as we stretch the bum out. Try to stay lifted in your arms and don't sink as you sit here. So you're lifting in the tummy, lifting in the arms, and sitting into the stretch. Trying to lean this hip towards the floor. It shouldn't be opened up to the side, but leaning in. One day, our hips will be on the floor when we're in this position. Remember to just breathe and try and relax into the position. And that relaxation doesn't come from not utilizing your muscles. You're getting into that balance point of between active muscles and relaxation. So your muscles are kind of doing things, but they're also kind of chilling. Got to find that little middle point of the seesaw. Try and go a little bit deeper, and you go deeper by trying to get this hip down onto the ground a little bit more. Gently come back up onto your hands. Tuck that back toe, lift up, and swap your legs around. Getting your left knee up to your left elbow, and then the ankle towards the right hand. I'm going to move forward because I'm getting too close to the wall. There we go. Down onto our elbows. Make sure you're lifting in the tummy, lifting in the underarms, and then trying to relax deep into the pose, keeping these hips squared. Keep breathing. Try and go a little bit deeper, squeezing the bum of the straight leg, trying to push that hip closer to the floor. And slowly we come up again. Pushing down, taking that leg back into the shin on the knee position, and you come and you sit on your shins. This incense is getting a little bit strong for me. Okay. So from here, we're going to stretch out our lower back and across our shoulders by grabbing our knees. Get your fingers right under there. Then you're thinking about rounding your lower back. So you're pushing your knees into your hands, and your hands are pulling at your knees so that you can tuck, 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 tuck into a ball of makisi, and then you feel a stretch going all the way up your whole spine and back. Keep pulling backwards. Sternum pulls backwards, back pulls backwards, your bum muscles are squeezing, pushing forward. And release. From here, we're staying on our knees. If you find sitting on your knees a little bit uncomfortable, you're welcome to grab a cushion again and you pop it just under your bum and between your legs. And that helps you sort of sit a little bit higher, and it relieves the knees a little bit if you're getting sore there. Okay, so from here again, you think about tucking your hips under, sucking belly up towards your spine. We're going to place one hand on the floor and the other hand's scooping up energy or whatever you want to scoop up, and the hand follows all the way over here on this side. We're imagining that we're lifting up over a Pilates ball, and our hand is being pulled away from us. So you should be feeling a nice side stretch, and try and keep your chest facing sideways and not down towards the floor. Keep your neck nice and long and don't let it go into any strain. So if you're feeling a bit of soreness here, try dropping your head, dropping your chin towards your armpit, whatever you need to do so that your head's just relaxing. Pull longer, getting a deeper side stretch. Keep tucking your hips under, sucking your belly. And now we're going to start moving so that our chest starts rotating towards the floor and our arm pulls away a little bit more. You're getting the stretch in a different area now. And rotate a little bit more, pulling that arm. A little bit more, rotating. Your chest's facing more the floor now. Pull that arm away from you. And slowly come up. And we go to the other side. Again, we imagine that we're scooping the energy up. And remember that Pilates ball that's on the opposite side. We do that Pilates ball so that you don't collapse in the side that you're leaning towards. You want to be lifting up and over it so that these muscles are active. So you place your hand on the floor, scoop the energy up, it's nice and tall, and then lift up over that Pilates ball and pull that arm away from you, feeling a nice side stretch. Again, right now your sternum is facing forward, not towards the floor. Start turning ever so slightly towards the floor, that arm's being pulled away from you. Turn a little bit more towards the floor, arms being pulled long. And a little bit more we turn. A little bit more, arm keeps pulling, and up we come again. Whew. Now we're going to take our opposite hand, so let's do right hand to left knee. Tuck the hips under, suck the belly back towards the spine. Your bum muscles are squeezing a little bit to tuck the hips, and we're going to push our hand against the knee to help us twist. Our left hand is going behind us. You can go on your tippy fingers and keep twisting around, sucking the belly like you're trying to get super skinny. The more you suck your belly, a little bit deeper and a little bit easier it is to get into your twist. So you suck it and twist. Oh, I clicked. Keep breathing. And gently release, and we go over to the other side. So now left hand is on the right knee. Keep tucking the hips under, sucking the belly backwards. Take your right hand behind you and twist. And gently come forward. While we're on our knees, it's the perfect time to stretch our feet. So our first step is to lean backwards. You're tucking your hips, lifting the tummy. You can use your hands to push down on the floor to help you lift your knees up. And this is stretching the tops of the feet. And you just go as far as you can. If you can only get your knees up like a millimeter off the floor, but you're feeling a stretch in your feet, you're doing good. Keep breathing slowly and steadily. If anyone's finding this very challenging, the best part about online yoga is nobody can see you. So you can just stop doing it until we move on to the next thing. Slowly bring your knees down. You might be feeling a little bit sore there. And now we're going to lean forward so that we can get our toes tucked under. Lean forward, tuck your toes under. Oh, it might be a little bit tight. That's okay. Just be gentle. If you're one of those people who has baby toes getting left behind, you just tuck it under your feet with the rest of your toes. And again, if this is very intense for you, you just start leaning forward on your hands and pushing back until you get a nice foot stretch. If it's not so bad for you, you keep coming up. You can lean on your knees. You can sit further up, tucking the hips. Remember, we don't want to sit in arches. Tuck, lift the belly. Just stretch out the feet. This goes into the big toes, the baby toes, up the arches of the feet. And slowly we come back down. And now we're just on our shins again. So we're going to give ourselves a bit of a quad stretch. This first one, we're sitting on top of our feet and our legs are closed because we're going to do an open-legged one. So don't jump ahead. Okay, so we're going to start leaning back. You tuck your hips under, you're squeezing your bum to push your Forksy bonnet and your gentleman bonnet forward. Then we're going to start leaning back, and you go as far as you can go until you feel a nice stretch coming from the knee up the quads. So if this is your stretch here, you stay put. If you want to go a little bit deeper, go down into your forearms, keeping the knees down on the floor. Oh, I've got a nice headrest here. And push your hips forward. Don't chill here. Squeeze the bum, push the hips forward. That's where you're getting a nice quad stretch. This is actually fabulous. Anyone with a wall near them, go lean your head against the wall if you're this far down. It's quite comfy. Keep breathing in and out, nice and steadily. Up we come, slowly but surely. And now, we're going to open our legs a bit. And we're going to have our feet on the outside of the bum. So you're trying to sit your bum between your feet. If this is quite intense, you got it. Grab your pillow, grab a little pillow, plonk it under your bum. If you've got a yoga block or something, you can pop that under your bum just to lift you up a bit, take some of the pressure off. Again, we're tucking the hips under, squeezing the bum muscles to help push the Forksy bonnet and gentleman bonnet forward, and sucking the belly backwards. And you, again, lean as far back as you can go. You keep pushing the hips forward. Again, it's going to go into the knees, but this time I think we may find it going more on the side of the knees. Everyone's different. See where you feel it. And if you can, you go lower down. Keep the knees on the floor. It's no good if you can go lower down, but your knees are sitting up in the air. Keep them on the floor. Keep pushing the Forksy bonnet forward. Keep breathing and trying to relax into the position while still squeezing the bum muscles, pushing your hips forward, sucking belly down towards the floor. Gently crawl and push your way back up. Your legs can come around to the front of you now. You can have them just bent in front of you. Grab around your legs, pulling your arms to try and grab each elbow, and push your lower back into a curved position, sucking the belly back. Legs come straight out in front of us. Again, I keep talking about this balance point. I'm going to repeat it. So even with our legs straight, it's not that we're sitting here and nothing is working in the legs, and it's not that we're pushing our legs down onto the ground so that we're like whacking. You want to find that balance point where you're gently lifting and the quads activate gently, and your legs are trying to push down onto the ground gently, and in between that middle point of a seesaw. Then from here, you lift the tummy, tucking the hips under, your arms are being pulled long, and then we lift up and over, imagining there's a ball here on our legs, up and over, and grab your toesies, or your ankles, or your shins, wherever you can grab. If you have a yoga strap at home, or a belt, or a tie, you can use that to hook your feet and hold it a little bit further down, and then you pull your sternum towards your shins, and that'll give you a nice extra stretch. Those who can reach their toes, you're pulling towards your sternum towards your ankles anyway. Lift the belly and just hold. Try and pull yourself a little bit deeper, thinking about your sternum reaching towards your ankles. And gently come up. Oh, making my hearing aid scream there. Oh, okay, from there, we're going to open our legs up into our Baddha Konasana position. So our feet are coming together, soles together. Our heels are coming as close to the Forksy bonnet and gentleman bonnet as they can come. Interlace your fingers and grab around your toesies. And in this position, we're squeezing the bum to get the knees to go closer towards the ground. We're tucking our hips under, shoulders are rotating into their sockets so that we can lengthen up. And then from this position, we're pulling our sternum, not our heads, our sternum towards our feet. And hold. Keep trying to pull your sternum a little bit closer and a little bit deeper into the stretch. But don't push yourself too far. If you're feeling a nice stretch in the inner thighs, just stay there. Release. Take one leg out to the side. Your other foot is coming closer in towards your Forksy and gentleman bonnet. You're thinking about keeping this bum on the floor, tucking your hips under, sucking the belly up. You're trying to grab this toe, but it's okay if you can only grab your ankle or your shin. We're going to use our elbow to push against the inner thigh to help us open up our chest to the side. And then our other arm is scooping energy up from the earth, pulling over and reaching for our toesies. Should be a nice side stretch. slowly come back up. I'm going to shift sideways so that I don't fall off the camera, and you swap legs. Again, keep tucking the hips under, suck the belly up towards the spine, using our opposite elbow to help push us push us so that our sternum can stay facing forward. Scoop the energy up, pull long, 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 long. Grab your toe or your ankle or your shin, or nothing at all. You can just stay here and stretch. Feel like your arms being pulled away from you. And release. Now we're going to come onto our backs to get some tummy work happening. So you tuck your hips under, lie down onto your spine, and you want to make sure that you're tucking your hips so that the whole of your back is on the floor. Your shoulders are nicely rotated into their sockets, and you can lift up. Rotate your shoulders down so that your rhomboids pull just gently in, and then lie back down so your shoulders are in a nice relaxed position. Hands are down on the sides of you. Keep your lower belly pulling down towards the floor. Lift your feet. I hope everybody can still see me. The sun's blinding me. There we go. And feel like you're pushing against a wall. So as you're pushing your legs away from you, you feel your tummy pulling even more down towards the floor. So now the lower part of your tummy is working and the upper part of your tummy is working as you push your legs into an imaginary wall. Straighten one leg, keeping lifted in the tummy. And pull that knee back in and straighten the other leg. Keep feeling like you're using both bottom and top muscles. And first leg straight again. Other leg. First leg. Other leg. And you can bring your knees into your chest and relax for a bit. Suck your belly back towards your spine. And breathe. And we go back into that position. This time, you're trying to lift your coccyx off the floor. So you're tucking your hips under and lift and back down. Tucking your hips under, lift and back down. I'm pushing gently with my arms to help me lift a bit, and you're using a little bit of momentum to help you get up, but you're really pulling that spine down towards the ground and lifting. Lift. 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 Tummy should be burning. Lift. 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 Lift and hold it. Pull the tummy, pull the tummy, pull the tummy, and relax. And knees into your armpits if you can. Suck belly back down and relax for a few moments. You're going to place both feet on the floor. Tuck your hips under, and we're going to slowly go into a bridge. Very iteratively lifting each vertebra off the floor, tucking the hips under you, squeezing the bum muscles as we push slowly but surely up just onto our shoulder blades. Make sure that your neck doesn't go into strain. And then you're pushing your legs into the ground. So the legs burn, the bum burns. Keep sucking the belly down. So you're really trying to tilt these hips under. Then start dropping your bum down and push back up again. Drop down and push back up again. Keep pushing your legs into the floor. Down and push back up again. Down and push back up. Down and push back up. Now we're going to lean on one leg. So you're going to push even harder down into the ground with one leg as you lift the other one. Drop the bum down and push back up. Drop the bum down and push back up. Drop the bum down, push back up. Swap legs. Trying to keep your hips squared, so don't let them drop or wiggle in weird ways. You're keeping your tummy lifted, pushing the hips up, trying to keep them squared. Drop down and lift back up. Drop down, lift back up. Drop down, lift back up. Place both feet on the floor. Squeeze your bum, pushing your hips even higher. Pushing your feet into the ground. Squeeze. And slowly lower yourself back onto the floor. Bring your knees up towards your chest. We're not pulling them in just yet. For my newbies, I want to remind you the reason why we turn our hips under, and I say suck your belly back when we're pulling our knees into our armpits, is you're trying to imagine that you're creating space here at your hip flexors. So that allows you to pull your knees closer in. So if you're out in an arched position, you can't get your knee very close. And sometimes it even hurts. You tuck your hips under, suck the belly back. You imagine that you're lifting up and over a tennis ball, and you can pull your leg right into your chest, potentially. So you're tucking your hips under, sucking belly down, pulling your knees into your chest. You grab your feet and you pull your knees past your armpits. If you can, the point is to just stretch out your body. So even if you're sitting up here but you're stretched, it'll do. Nice, deep, relaxed breathing. And try and pull your feet even further down. Keep sucking your belly. The more you try and make your tummy skinny, the more space you have to pull back. Release the feet. And if you've derobed, you can gather up your clothes, pop on your socks, get warm again, and get ready for a wee meditation. So you can lie down or sit down, entirely up to you, as long as you're comfortable, relaxed, and everybody's leaving you alone in peace. I'll just give you a seckie to get everything back on and get comfy. Okay, so close your eyes and bring your attention into your breath. I'm going to take a nice deep, 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 deep breath in and exhale with a sigh. Deep, 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 deep breath in and exhale with a sigh. Last one, deep, 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 deep breath in. Hold it for a moment. And exhale with a sigh. Bring your attention into the breathing, the inhalation and the exhalation, movement of your chest up and down. And then notice how your bring your awareness into your heart center while paying attention to your breathing. And that creates this feeling as if you're breathing into your heart center. Into our heart center, where our focus of unconditional love sits in peace and relaxation. And as you breathe in and breathe into that heart center, you feel your body growing very heavy and relaxed. Feel all the muscles releasing anything they've been holding on to. Your shoulders release tension. Your arms grow heavy and relaxed. Your bum releases tension. Your legs. Your entire body is just very heavy and relaxed on the floor. Imagine yourself now going for a meander in a beautiful, lush, green forest. You're barefoot, and it's a beautiful, sunny day. And you feel the beautiful green grass under your feet, pushing its way between your toes. There's a lovely warm breeze that ruffles your hair, and you feel it making its way over your skin as it passes. Start creating the forest around you, imagining beautiful large trees, birds singing in the air, fluttering by. There might be butterflies in the flowers nearby, maybe a soft waterfall making its noise in the distance. There might be bunnies hopping along, a deer or two. Just create the forest that brings you most relaxation and calm. Notice right at the foot of one of the trees, there's a particularly lush, comfy looking spot. And go and sit there under the tree. Your back rests up against the tree, and your hands lay on the grass. And to you it feels like you're literally starting to connect and commune with all of nature around you. Pay attention to any thoughts and loving energies that are coming into your body as you lie up against your friendly tree and the grass that starts sending tendrils of unconditional love up your body wherever it touches. Feel this unconditional loving energy wrapping around your entire being as you relax even more against your tree and into the ground. up straighter. Still being aware of all that unconditional loving energy coursing through your whole body and that connection to nature that you've just felt and been with. Slowly you get up, still in awe of the magical experience you've just had. But you know it's time to start walking back out of the forest. Still carrying with you this peace and relaxation. Slowly take a nice deep breath in. Hold it for a moment. And as you start exhaling, allow your fingers and your toes to start wiggling. Stretch your body one last time. And slowly come up to sitting. Feel free to join me in one Om, and also feel free not to. So we just take our hands into our heart center, nice deep, deep, deep breath in. And that's it. Well done, guys. Hope you enjoyed that extra stretchy class today.